It is now time to talk about chords and what they mean. So for that, I am going to start in this new note flight score and show you some chords. The way we build chords on the score is by starting with our bass note, and then we build, they kind of look like snowmen. A lot of times chords go in the bass clef because our ears are naturally drawn to the high notes and listen to those as the melody. So putting the chords in the bass clef makes them good at accompanying. If you click this note, this button, it makes it a whole note, which means it will last the whole measure, which is nice for super simple. All right, so what I did here, this note on the bottom is the note C. Let me actually label that real quick. In this measure, I'm going to use the note G as the bottom. In this one, F, and then a quick change to G, and ending again on C. Now, the reason I chose those three are because when we look at notes, C is here. We can remember this from when we learn to read music. We know that in the bass clef, the mnemonic or memory trick to help with this is all cows eat grass. Our chord starts on C, C for cows, E, eat, and G, grass. This top note is G, and it's also 5 notes away from C. And that's really important. Let me grab a quick, I guess I'll draw it real quick. This is how fast can Miss Montenegro draw a piano? Pretty fast, because I really like the piano. Okay, so you know in our musical alphabet, we actually start below C, even though C is very important for the musical alphabet. We have A, B, C is next to two set of 2 black notes, D is in the middle, E, F, G, A, because we start over after G to do A again, B, and so on, it repeats. I drew this here because I want to show you that C is number 1. If we start counting there, and G is number 5, and F is number 4. 1, 4, and 5 are the really, really important chords when we're trying to build songs. And I put this in the assignment as well, but the reason that those 1, 4, and 5 chords are really important is because each one conveys a different mood. If we use the C chord, it sounds like we're home. It sounds like we're safe, and it sounds like the song is ending. Because C is where we started, it's where we belong. This is the key that we are in. When we use the G chord, it's a great way to introduce a lot of tension and complexity. So it's worry, danger, tension, stress, and the song is not ending. We can't end there. Our ears would hate for us to end there. Lastly, the F chord is kind of in between the two of those. It's not home, and it's also not all the tension that the G chord brings. I like to think of it as a little sigh. You're just going, not quite fully happy, safe, and home, but also not super full of tension. Another way I like to think of it as is you're dreaming or you're feeling melancholy. It's not worry, it's not danger, but it's also not home or safe. So you can paint a whole story using these 3 chords. And what our ears really love to hear is what I did here. What I'm planning to do at the end of the song is to play a G chord real quick, that 5, that tension, right before we resolve to have the 1 chord and the feeling of home to end off on. So let me change this to a whole note, because we're going to have G last this whole measure. Now from there, I'm going to build a snowman with G on the bottom. These 3 notes are all in spaces. There's none of them on lines, and that's what makes it sure that it'll do that good pattern and make a good G chord triad. Same thing here. Only I'm going to change that to a half note because I want it to fill up half of the measure. This is a snowman starting on a line. Now, how did I know to start it there? Well, in the bass clef, we have good, burritos, don't fall apart. That makes this the F, and I could also think back to the piano and say F is right below G. And so since this line is right below this space that was G, that's where I need to go now. This snowman is built on lines and looks like this. Still a snowman. If I added a note like this to it, you'd see this really crooked weirdness happening. If that's happening, you didn't make your snowman right. Back to G again. One up, build our snowman. And we end on C. Again, you can copy this one if you're not sure from the beginning. I don't know why it gave me another measure. I don't need that other measure. There we go. All right, I'm going to save. Always remember to save your work. And let's hear how this sounds. I bet it's going to sound like a song. There we go. So I'm going to play it one more time. And this time I'm going to pause it right here on the G. Remember, G is the part where it says the song is not ending. And I'm going to let you feel how it feels in your ears when I stop it there and your ear wants it to end. There it is. All that tension. The song is not done. Why did it stop there? But when we go back to C, the song does end. And so what you're going to do when you're matching your harmony and your chords together, your harmony and your melody, your chords with your tune, is to make sure that your tune follows this pattern as well, where it has some notes that match with G right before the end to help us feel like we really did end at the end.